Hey everyone, welcome back to After the Game. This is After the Game for Shadowguard episode 21. I'm Charlie Chop Shop. I play Magnus Munch, and I'm joined right now by the cast of Shadowguard and our lovely Dungeon Master, Amel Wind. We also have Groverfield, who plays Luke Warmwater, and we have Yeti, who plays our buddy Glod. Unfortunately, Jazzy Bebo was not here to play L tonight, so Amel and myself both got the lovely pleasure of being Jazzy tonight, which was really fun. But yeah, so we're here to chat about the session. We just ended playing about 2 minutes ago. What did you guys think about tonight's session as we wrapped up the Suez?
I almost murdered you guys.
You did.
I personally loved it.
I loved it too, and you did almost murder us, and that was one of the things I loved about it.
Same.
I disagree with that statement, actually.
I think the one rule I really like to try to stand by is when a player can't be here, I really don't like killing their character.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I actually originally intended for Vivian to appear like outside the sewers, but I'm like, she's a cleric. I actually had her planned as a cleric, so it wasn't like it was like surprise. But because that's the way she has scrying and their little things and whatnot. But I'm like, okay, we'll have her running in this case, so we can at least make sure Elle does not get her face kicked in while she's not here. But other than that, yeah, I think everybody else, you were all gonna die. I mean, if the whole group dies, she also died. That's very. She didn't live if everybody else.
I mean, to be honest, I never went down. I got close to going down, but I never went down. We could have made it out.
Sure, but to say something real quick here, this whole ditching of teammates thing has got to stop. It's ridiculous. You all ditched me with the vampire right there. I was like, what the hell am I going to do?
Magnus didn't ditch anyone. Magnus led the charge to run out of there and then went back in to save someone.
Yeah, but you all left me there to cast Thunderwave by myself.
That's strategy.
Yeah, we were clearing it out.
I didn't know I was going to do that. None of you knew I was going to do
If I recall, I believe I roleplayed being like, let's run, and then Magnus runs. You know what I mean? It's not like I was just like leaving you. I was telling everyone to run. I was hoping everyone would follow suit because that was,
Well, Luke was only there because he got Magnus back up.
I got Glod back up.
Yeah,
and as a grappled individual, I couldn't run.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And you made the perfect target for the vampire while I ran.
You made the perfect vampire target. And
remember, Glod is the star of this arc.
Definitely. No question about that. I thought it was a great session. One thing I love, and I've been saying that the past few sessions, is it's a very OSR, old school revival dungeon crawl that we just did. It felt like playing second edition D&D when I was a kid, which I loved. And something I've actually been reading about for D&D 5th edition lately, people have been talking about, how D&D is really just a monster killing game for the most part. That's what really most of the rules apply to. And the role-playing stuff all is kind of consequential, but that's the stuff we really like, obviously, is the role-play. But I was just reading about how, like, D&D 5th edition, like, you gotta use those short rests. You gotta, small battles that are easy can be fun if it's a bunch of them over time and you're in a dungeon and you don't get a chance to rest, because then now it's about, like, conservation and resource conservation and things like that. And by the time we get to that last battle, that if I had any spells would have probably been fine, you know what I mean? But I had 0 spells. So suddenly a kind of hard battle became like all of us almost dying. And to me, that's the fun of like the dungeon crawl. It's like there's a skill to dungeon crawling of like conserving out your resources over time, and being ready for that last shitty battle that's inevitable to happen at the end of the dungeon crawl.
Yeah, that was a hard encounter. It wasn't even a deadly encounter.
Right, but it became deadly because we were all super, I was exhausted and out of spell slots, and people were missing hit points already, and I was out of health potions. Like, it's just, that's the fun of it. Like, I want to feel like I was worn down, like I went through like a journey to get there, Yeah.
Well, I can say there will be at least one more in this little arc. So you'll probably be around for a little bit longer, Yeti, because you guys you probably have one session more till you find it, is my guess. Because you have probably like one more session of investigation, and then we'll probably have the Alps actual there.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sewer was not. I think that's probably how it's going to end up going with. So I'm looking forward.
Well, because my question, you don't have to give anything away, but my question to you, especially DM to DM, is will that be like a long dungeon crawl, or is that a boss fight? Because if it was me, I'd be like, here's the lair. There's maybe one entrance battle, and then you get right to the meat of the lair. You know what I mean?
No, I had intentions. I mean, she's been here for a long time, so she's had plenty of time to set traps and make other things and use other things. So you guys will definitely be running into. It'll be a lot of optional stuff potentially.
Okay.
The same idea is I try to put rewards here and there. Like there was actually something in a few places that you guys have skipped over that you didn't see. It's like, okay, well, they didn't see it, it's no big deal.
Right.
But that same idea will be like, I will reward exploring, it'd be much more dangerous because you're going to weaken yourselves in the long run.
Right.
But you'll get gold and items and stuff out of it doing that.
Sure. I mean, that's part of a dungeon crawl too. It's like, should we or shouldn't we explore that one last branch of hallways? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do we or don't we?
Just to throw out something I liked is that each person in this group got something they wanted or needed without actually knowing what they wanted at the time. So, like, for instance, you like she got her sword, you got your pendant, and I possibly have the future of getting a schematic for something amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what the pendant does yet, though.
Right.
Magic.
You can ask somebody you know, and they can tell you.
I thought I already asked you.
No, it's not.
About the sword, not the.
Yeah, you guys have not asked about the amulet.
Well, when we have time, obviously, like downtime, Magnus will probably show it to you and ask about it. Well, cool. Well, let's go around and do real quick highlights. So let's start with Emil tonight. Emil, what was your favorite part of the session for the group, for the party?
My favorite part. I would say it was. I liked your guys' idea of taking like the maca plant and actually like taking it back so you can make use of it, like grow it yourselves. I thought that was probably one of my favorite parts because it wasn't something I expected.
Me too. That was all Luke as well, and I didn't expect it either, but was immediately like, "That's such a great idea."
Yeah, it was.
Like
For
that.
sure.
That could have turned it. That could have turned into a whole other quest. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge money making opportunity. Gone. So sad.
There were so many plants down there. They're all just crushed now. And the question is, what happened to everything that was above that cave-in? So we'll find that out next week also.
Oh shit! Like a house sinks in. Probably Izzy's house because we're a bunch of assholes. We kill her adopted vampire son, and then we collapse her house into the ground.
Sounds about right.
Sounds like the Shadowguard to me.
Sounds like standard practice.
And then Emma, what was your favorite dungeon master moment? What did you think you did well, or what do you really want to do next time?
I think really the thing I did well was I think that's how I used the fledgers, because they're actually originally from The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever played The Witcher, that's what that creature was originally from. And I think how I made use of them. So instead of like killing, I could have killed Luke outright with the claw, but I think it's like I used their anger and their thought process of biting and eating as a vampire versus instant killing with their claws was just not their thing.
Yeah, they prefer that warm blood instead. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's awesome. Actually, I found a really cool website, a blog recently called "The Monsters Know What They're Doing." And it is a guy who literally just tries to explore monster psychology and tactics, and he covers one monster at a time, and it's awesome. I always try and get into those thought processes, but reading that blog has really pushed me over the edge with like, oh, this monster would act this way. And like, I definitely think you got in that mindset tonight, and I liked that a lot. I would say my favorite moment, GM-wise, what the hell was I going to say? I already lost it. Never mind. I had a really great GM moment that I thought you kicked ass on, but we'll get back to it. The whole thing was great though. I love playing with you as the dungeon master. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. That battle got a little rules heavy. We were all arguing about different rules, and I thought as a game master you waded through all of it fairly, correctly, and patiently, and that was really good. Well done.
I mean, it's to be expected when you've got 3 GMs in a game.
Yeah.
So.
How do we each interpret the rules, or forget rules here and there? Because I definitely forget rules. I know that for a fact.
Sure. I mean, any dungeon master, it's impossible to have a fully encyclopedic knowledge of the rules. And also, I think part of higher tier play is talking about the rules during combat. Like, you have to lawyer each other into the proper ruling. Especially when things get so complex at higher levels.
What I thought was funny.
Yeah, I learned because I thought it was pretty much any damages to failed saves.
I do too. I've always operated on that, and that's not true. So
Yeah, what was it? I actually like that you guys were trying to cause your own deaths with the rules. And I'm like, no, you guys aren't dying yet.
that sounds like quintessential Yeti to me.
Yes.
Arguing for his own death.
Like,
This is the perfect time.
That would have been a good end to your arc. Well, anyway, on that note, we thought we were only going to have you for 1 or 2 more episodes. But it looks like we'll have you for hopefully up to 4 or 5.
3 to 4. 3 to 4, I would assume.
Cool. That's great. I'm happy to hear that. All right, well, let's keep going. Let's go on to you then, Yeti. What was your favorite moment for the party or for the session? And then what was your favorite moment for Glod?
So, I really love that combat. I love tense combats, and especially, the effects of either the shatter or the thunder wave, whichever one started to cause the cave in.
Mm-hmm.
Both equally.
Yeah.
Adding that dramatic tension to the fight was really nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. Any fight where like an environmental thing comes into play or a new objective happens mid-fight always spices it up so much better. And it made for a nice epic arc to this episode. We've had a lot of cliffhanger episodes lately, so honestly, when we were bathing in the beach, like in the water, I kind of wanted to just be like close out, like what a picture perfect ending. But I still liked our little foray into the inn. It was real short anyway, but yeah, I agree. And what about for Glod?
I mean, I don't feel I had any real defining moments there, but just
Well, maybe that's
I
was interested in actually, meeting Vivian and talking to her.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully have some more of that too. Part of it was, go ahead.
And just exploring her interest in me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's like definitely some backstory there, even if you don't know what it is as Glod, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I like by the time we got to Vivian, I was like, God, I can't remember all the details we've already found out about her. I don't know how to like roleplay this appropriately. I'm trying to remember everything I remember. That's when I was like, oh wait, I do have her journal. Like I should roleplay something with that. But that was good. Yeah. Well, maybe your to-do list for next time for Glod is to have a standout moment.
Yeah.
But I think obviously the closer we get to the end, the more it's going to be like, well, this is Glod's story too,
Yeah, the spotlight's gonna shift.
Yep.
Definitely.
Cool. Let's go on to Groverfield, lukewarm-water. What was your favorite highlight from the session?
Favorite highlight from the entirety of the session? That's so hard. There's so many funny ones. I think the thing I really enjoyed is how Yeti deliberately disengages to screw me, and then immediately gets boned. Immediately. I thought that was pretty great.
Well, give me another one. You said you have a couple. What else was a fun moment for you?
The whole like running Stark naked into the sea. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and the fact that your character is like, that does sound kind of nice.
Yeah. I know. I just like the image of these two tiny little men like naked running around and like also it's not like it's a beach, like it's a dirty old fishing beach with like piers and fish nets and cages and stuff.
Yeah, but that's
it's probably Rocky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally Rocky and
Rocky Beach.
That's what you got thick feet for.
Yep. That's yeah. Well, you have thick feet. I have pointy ears.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you like that Luke did, or what did you think Luke could do better next time?
Honestly, the thing I really liked about how I played this session was definitely the fact that he felt like more of like you're telling the story of your actions better, and it wasn't just I stand there, I shoot, I reload, all right, and next turn. Like it's not just about mechanics, but it's about making the mechanics sound like a story.
Agree. That narrative and battle is so important to making it, for me, fun. That's one of my favorite parts, and I will always try and give a little narrative with my actions. And yeah, seeing you do that with Luke too is awesome. You like had a little part where like you said something about like spinning around and like cocking your gun and like firing off a shot. I was like, yeah, that's fucking cool.
And then give an explanation to why I fail.
Yeah, that too. It's always fun to explain.
It's like, I wasn't paying attention.
Always fun to explain why you fail. So for me, man, highlights, it's hard to pick out. Just the whole battle was really good. Loved that battle. As Yeti said, I love like a tense battle. If it feels really challenging to me, then that makes it a lot more fun. Also, I felt like I haven't been hurt in a while. I was feeling a little invincible. I felt like I got taken down a peg today, but I like needed to be, you know? I was craving that. So that was cool. I feel proud of finishing a dungeon. And yeah, the little moment in the water afterward was like just such a nice like resolution to us getting out. Yeah, I don't know. My high point's the whole session. It always is. I can never literally choose a single point. I thought Amel did a great job playing Elle tonight. Like got more into Elle's roleplay.
For sure.
So that was fun too. And let's see, what do I think Magnus can do better, or what did I like that Magnus did? I don't know. I wasn't on my role-playing game tonight. Wasn't like having as easy time getting into character or interjecting.
You know what? One thing I actually liked about your playstyle tonight, though, if I may interject,
Sure,
is your use of items and trying to find alternative solutions other than what spells do I have, what potions do I have? And it's like, well, what other creative solutions can I come up with?
Totally. I think my favorite thing that Magnus did, now that you mentioned that, is the Shatter Scroll. I think that threw a lot of flavor into the combat. It sparked Amel to do the rocks falling, which like we said was an awesome touch. Especially after this is I have no spell slots. My last ditch effort is just to read this scroll I have, no matter what it does. You know what I mean? So that was cool that there were some repercussions there. Now, one thing I did want to mention, DM, we should look up, because I do think there's actually a check associated with casting from a scroll.
We'll double check that. Yeah, I don't use scrolls enough to.
Me either.
But yeah, we'll look them up, because scrolls I think are always readily available, because it's always nice to have when you run out of those spell slots.
That's the
have
thing.
Something.
I don't use scrolls a lot, but I haven't run a lot of wizards recently. Playing a wizard, I love the idea of scrolls. I want to be able to copy stuff to my book, or if I don't think it's worth copying, here's the thing too, is I really did want to copy Shatter into my tome. That chance is lost now, but it did save my ass. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a give and take, and I like that a lot. I think that's cool.
Absolutely. I do want to ask one quick question, though. We do actually have a handkerchief of whatever that prevents people from dying. Who has that?
I don't know about that thing.
I don't.
I think Elle. No.
Is that an Elle Clark thing, or do I have that? 'Cause I think.
Are you sure I gave that to you, Cal?
Yeah, because you put it in my character's mouth and then it walked away, and somebody has it, but not me.
I don't remember that. What? A handkerchief that keeps you from dying?
It was in Wolfpine.
First time we went in Raxus.
Yeah, where Raxus came up and he shoved a handkerchief into Luke's mouth and it stabilized him.
Oh, that's right.
Someone's got that. I don't know who.
Can we just wrap that around Glad's beard for next fight?
To shove his beard into his mouth.
That's not nice to say. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this in Discord chat before, and of course we still have an arc to finish here, but one thing for future arcs I'm thinking of for Magnus, because this is one thing Luke and I talk about all the time, where do we see our character 10 sessions from now rather than 2? I want Magnus to seek out a magely establishment, some kind of wizard's college or private wizard or arcane library. It's time to study and also be the wizard I really am, because a wizard is more than just casting spells and having a spell book. You know what I mean? It's being part of an institution, and I would like to either join one, seek one out, do more research. I actually have a lot of questions still in my notes from I skimmed through a tome on the Grand Alchemist. Is that who it was?
I don't know what. Is that the one you took from her?
No, I just skimmed through it and made mental notes. I don't think I actually stole the tome, but she walked out of the office and I just flipped through the book on her desk as fast as I could.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's with yeah, it's some old lore mentioned. I remember. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you the notes on that. And the other thing is they may have information on finding the book that Osgood was looking for. That's a huge callback. So I definitely want Magnus to start seeking out some arcane establishments. So something for you to think about, Game Master.
You guys actually were. Osgood told you guys where that book was at.
He told us the general area, yes. But also.
Exact in general. He said this place outside of town, in this thing, right under there.
In a basement, yeah.
Yeah, he told us exactly where to find it.
Well, that too, but even so, I don't think running into there blind is a good idea. If I can find out what the book is before we go, there may be, first of all, more copies, lots of things, but So yeah, think about that, Game Master. Give me some arcane institutions I can take part in. I would love that.
Let's see what I can do. There definitely would be one in Wiper. I'll actually like create it. So
Nice. And I'll send you all the notes I have from that Grand Alchemist tome. Pretty much everything I have that's an open question still, I will send to you. That's in my notes.
cool.
But cool. Anyone have any final notes? I think that was a good recap of our session.
Absolutely. I just want to interject something real quick here. Doing research before going into something isn't the Shadowguard way. It's not our way.
Well, we're hitting higher tiers of play. I just want to change the play style. I don't want to just be travel to town, battle, role play. You know, we need to start doing other things too, because we're getting into those higher tiers. And I want to do. Like I said, it's just a wizardly thing. This is one of the things that appeals to me about the wizard. And the one thing I always say that I wish D&D had was just a straight up scholar class, but they never will. So the artificer is probably the closest. But anyway, y'all, that's where we'll cut it short. I could talk to you guys about D&D and playing wizards and all of this stuff for an hour, but we're at our 20-minute mark. This is supposed to be a 20-minute show, so let's call it there. Thank you all for joining me for this After the Game chat. Everyone who tuned in, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's right there above my head, and check out all the other awesome D&D games and RPG games that we're playing here on the Chop Shop Network, and I guess we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
See you later.
See you later.
Chop Shop.